girl with a preppy vibe. Came to the spot with a friend of mine. She caught my eye. From the beginning, I was hooked. I can't tell a lie. Fresh, dressed, and fly. I respect her mind. Some dude trying to impress, but looking goofy at the same time. He bugging, she looking. I'm going for mine. Confidently, I approach with that eye-to-eye contact. She smiling while adjusting her hair, so I smile back. Pretty girl, what's your name? She said, is that true? Cause if it is, your name perfect for you. My name handsome. She said your name fits you too. See, we was clicking, and after that, time just flew. Then that time came to talk to her pops. He gave his blessing, and then that mind frame I had was honoring and protecting. I knew she was the one when we met. I found my future girl, and no other woman compares to my girl. Yeah, I knew it from the start.
Hey y'all, welcome to the bonus live. How are you guys doing today? Yes, happy Sunday. I'm trying to get myself set up on this tablet here. We have a lot to talk about today when it comes to Minneapolis and all these things going on in the world. Yes, we do. Let me talk to y'all in the chat for a second. Good afternoon. Yes, welcome to the live stream. All right, y'all. So, like I said, have a lot to share with you guys today. I mentioned in the description about my travel chaos, and I just had a really interesting time last week getting out of DC, getting to San Antonio and back. And yes, y'all, it was an ordeal. So, anyway, I wanted to kind of check in with you guys about what's been going on out here in the news, our current events and whatnot. So much going on. I saw things regarding Don Lemon, being arrested. I think we talked about that maybe last week. We also talked about, Alex Pretti. There's been some more new footage that has came out regarding Alex Pretti as of late. In addition to that, you also have little 5-year-old named Liam. There's like a little press conference going on right now regarding him being released from being detained, and just so many interesting things going on regarding this whole immigration situation, right? So we're going to get into some of that, and I will go ahead and kick things off with, let's see. I will kick things off with talking about a couple of things that I thought were interesting. So the first video is going to pertain to Batman. He has some interesting things he wanted to say regarding what's going to be happening in California regarding the Super Bowl. Okay, let's get into that.
Batman and then Lucilla Ortiz.
What the fuck are we doing here? Seriously, you have had months to prepare for this upcoming event. I don't give a damn if this is outside of decorum. People are dying on our streets every single day in this country because we allow this federal government to walk all over you. Look me in the eye. Can any one of you go home to your children and tell them that you did everything you could to protect their classmates, to protect their grandparents, to protect them? I don't think you can, with the exception of Park. Thank you. This needs to have happened 2 months ago, but you can still make it up and make every single policy on this little sheet of paper here happen right now. Happen before the Super Bowl. Happen before potentially hundreds of masked men come into our city and kill people. I am disgusted by each and every one of you, with the exception of Councilmember Park, that you have not done something more. You need to affirm that no city resources will go to ICE, that no cooperation will be given to them. You need to affirm to the country, to the world, that you are not cowards. Because as of right now, I stand in front of a council of cowards. And if you do not act You're not just cowards, you are traitors. Traitors to each and every individual you serve. To each and every individual that lives in this country, legal or not. You need to do something about getting these policies into writing, ensuring that your officers do not cooperate with ICE, ensuring that they cannot use city resources, that they cannot tap into city data before more people die. Yes, more people die. I don't think I need to go into how many people have been shot, how many people have been taken, how many children have been abducted and used as bait. I don't need to tell you that. You see it on the TV every single day. I don't want you to sit back and watch. I want you to fucking do something. Each and every one of these people who have came up has been very polite, very earnest, very kind, pleading you, begging you to do something. I'm not begging you. I'm fucking demanding that you act with some semblance of a fucking spine. Do something.
Thank you, Lucila Ortiz. And then after Lucila, we're going to have Ishula.
It's kind of hard to follow Batman. Thank you. Hi, Council, again.
Let me say this.
Top story, a federal judge.
1 second. Okay, y'all, let me say this. That was Batman, y'all. So apparently, they're having the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, California. I think it's this upcoming weekend. And so I guess they're doing a session where people are coming up and pleading, and in the case of Batman, demanding that they put some policies in place and not to, I guess, assist the ICE people. And honestly, I just don't know, because I mean they're gonna have, I think Bad Bunny is the headline performance, and so theoretically you may have a lot of people that are of different nationalities coming to that area, but with all this ICE stuff going on, people are probably gonna be just staying at home because they're gonna be afraid of being targeted or or whatever, being picked up, whatever have you. So shout out to these people for going to their councilmen, I guess they're called, trying to, I guess, politely or demandingly, get some things in place to protect people and to prevent any additional unalivings, if you will. So I thought that was pretty cool, pretty interesting on that one. Now, this next story pertains to a little 5-year-old named Liam that is in a detention center. I think that he is either getting out today, but I know it has to be at least by Tuesday. I've been watching some press conferences out in San Antonio, where I used to live at, where they've been talking about Liam and giving updates on what's going on with him. So let's get into this video real quick.
Has ordered the release of 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father, Adrian Conejo Arias. The two were detained last week in Minnesota and are now in a detention center in Dilley. A photo of Liam being detained by ICE officers went viral. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez has details about today's ruling.
Let me just say this. So they were picked up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they're in Dilley, Texas. Okay, they're in Texas. Okay, and when I heard about this, I was thinking, oh my goodness, this little 5-year-old boy is in this detention center. I have nephews around that age, and I just cannot imagine if one of them were put in that type of situation. You know what I'm saying? So, and I believe that him and his family are in the United States legally, if I recall correctly. But let's keep this going. Also, y'all, feel free to chat in the comments. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get back to it.
Federal District Judge Fred Beery with the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas issued the ruling. Was also critical of the detention of Liam and his father. 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father Adrian Conejo Arias were detained on January 20th while driving home from school near Minneapolis. A photo of Liam surrounded by ICE officers showing Liam wearing a bunny hat and carrying a Spider-Man backpack sparked an outcry across the nation. The images went viral, leading to more protest. Saturday, a federal judge ordered to temporarily block his deportation. After Liam and his father were taken into custody, they were then transferred to an immigration processing center in Dilley. Last week, Congressman Joaquin Castro and Representative Jasmine Crockett visited Liam and his father at the center, where Castro demanded Liam's release. In a statement today, Castro says, quote, "I've reached out to Liam's mom and lawyers to let them know I will continue to do everything I can to make sure he is safe." In Saturday's ruling, Judge Fred Beery criticized the government's pursuit of daily deportation quotas. He wrote, quote, "The case has its genesis in the ill-conceived and incompetently implemented government pursuit of daily deportation quotas, apparently even if it requires traumatizing children," unquote. Berry also cited the government's ignorance of the Declaration of Independence, quoting some of Thomas Jefferson's grievances against a would-be authoritarian king. Berry stated, quote, "We the people are hearing echoes of that history," unquote. After Liam and his father were detained, the Department of Homeland Security said its agents attempted to place Liam with his mother, but claimed she refused and abandoned him.
Now, first of all, let me just say this. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett and Joaquin Castro for making the effort to go see Liam and his dad in that detention center. You know, that was top tier. Also, you know, if I understand correctly, Liam's mom is pregnant. I think she's 4 months pregnant. And you're saying that you reached out to her to, I guess, obtain her child, right? Do you think that for a second she may not have considered that you may try to put her in the detention center? And then you got the mom and the dad in the detention center? Who's gonna take care of the kids? Like, seriously, let's keep this going.
Disputed by the family. Saturday's ruling orders that Liam and his father must be released no later than Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. The ruling also states the family's attorney must be notified of the time and location of their release as soon as possible and at least 2 hours before their release. And if you would like to read the full opinion and order of the court and judgment, you can visit this story at KINS5.com. Micah Menace, KINS 5.
So let me ask you this. So they done took this man and his child all the way to Texas, to Dilley, Texas. How are they supposed to get back to Minneapolis? And on top of that, where is Liam's bunny ears and his backpack? Where is that at? You know, yeah. It's one thing if I guess I don't understand if you're going to detain people. Like, don't you confirm before you move them somewhere? Like, hey, these people are, no kidding, illegal immigrants. Like, why wouldn't you confirm that before you move them to a whole nother state? Like, I'm just confused by that. So if anyone has any thoughts on how that process works, let me know. But that seems like to me a waste of resources. Why would you not confirm up front that the person is illegal before moving them somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? I just don't get the I don't understand the premise. Because you remember this other man, I forgot where he was at, but he was somewhere up north, I think. And they detained him and sent him all the way to El Salvador. Remember that a couple months ago? And then they were like, well, how is he going to get back to the States? Like, yeah. Anyway, let's keep it going. This next video is a video of ICE agents being followed. And what's interesting is that I saw where they were saying that following ICE agents was actually legal. They have been ruled by that. But then they're saying to the people that they are encountering that, oh, it's illegal. So let's get into that.
You've been warned that you're continuing to follow us and you're breaking a lot of...
Oh, no. Hell no. Nope.
We warned you, sir.
Nope. Ryan Eklund says he didn't go seeking out ICE, but when he saw them circling a grocery store parking lot in Woodbury, he started following, which eventually caught their attention.
How you doing? Good, and you?
Doing just fine, thanks. What can I do for you?
Eklund followed out onto the streets of Woodbury as ICE agents led him to his own somewhat private neighborhood and past his own home.
Must have run my plate because they drove into my neighborhood and into my cul-de-sac where I live. There's no circumstance where they would have rolled through there without knowing that.
He stayed behind them until they stopped him.
Just fine. What can I do for you? One warning for what?
You will not be following us anymore, or you will be arrested.
I can follow you wherever I want.
You will be arrested.
A little while later, they followed through on that threat.
You've been warned that you're continuing to follow us and you're breaking a lot of...
Oh, no. Hell no. Nope.
We warned you, sir.
Nope. One of those ICE agents went into the back seat, gave me a chokehold around the driver's headrest, unbuckled my seatbelt from behind me in my car, and those 5 agents pulled me to the street, put me in cuffs, and put me in an unmarked van. And
ICE agents technically never arrested Eklund. They did cause several injuries, including a black eye and other marks on his face, and they held him at a detention facility for more than 9 hours. And the Department of Homeland Security did argue in court in Minnesota today that following them is illegal. The judge has not ruled on that, but constitutional scholars say judges have consistently ruled that following them is legal. Okay. A judge last week ruled that the ICE policy that was in place at least last June that said it was an unlawful form of civil unrest to record them. Well, that was an unconstitutional policy. Now, I reached out to ICE to ask about the incident that happened right here and about their policies, but so far they have not gotten back to us.
My. Did you hear how that man said that they got in the back of his vehicle and did a chokehold from the back seat and dragged him about that car? And did you not see like the bruises on his face and held him for I think said 9 hours and didn't charge him with anything? My goodness. What we got here in the chat? Okay, we got Ken and Corey here. Hey Corey. Welcome. Happy Sunday. He says, no, they can do what they want to do to you. They are moving in a completely different way. Clearly, that's what I'm seeing. And you weren't here for the live stream last week when we kind of talked about some of this, but I was trying to explain, like, yeah, these people are doing what they want to do. So I'm not saying that people don't have like the right to express themselves, but understand that you have people out here that are operating under a different code, if you will. And so I don't want anybody, getting hurt with these folks. But yeah, like this dude, and they went by his home intentionally. Okay. Well, we took you by your house and you didn't go home. So they confirmed, okay, he's following us. They had already told him, hey, if you follow us, you're gonna get arrested. You know what I'm saying? So that's just I don't know. I just don't know, y'all. It's like Corey's saying here, they doing what they want to do. And it's like, how do I word this? It's like, yeah, you can sit here and kind of like play the system, like, hey, I can do this, and then they hem you up and you run here bruised and then spent 9 hours in detention center, you don't get that back. And then nothing happens to these people, probably. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you got to pick and choose how far you want to go, because these people are going all the way to the nth degree, if that makes sense. So we got James Ferris here. Hi, Mr. James Ferris. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for all the compliments and supporting the channel, as you always do. Corey says, so they are a gang, basically. Then we got Purple Butterfly Divine. How you doing, Purple Butterfly Divine? I'm getting tongue-tied, y'all. He should be charged. So who should be charged? Purple Butterfly Divine. Are you saying the gentleman that was following the ICE agent should be charged? I just want to get clarity, so I'm tracking with you. And then we got Keith Ducks here. Welcome to the live stream, Keith. Saying, is it true that women be shopping? Yes, we do. And if it's a shopping spree that someone else sponsors, that makes it even better. All right. So I'm waiting for Purple Butterfly to let me know who should be charged. I'm thinking you're saying that the gentleman that was trailing the ICE agent should be charged. That's what I'm thinking. I'm interested to hear. Oh, Keith Duck says, sorry, only joshing. A big shout out from Liverpool. Oh, you fine. You are fine, Keith. Welcome to the live stream. Shout out to Liverpool. Yes. Never been there. Maybe one day I will go. Yes. But yeah. I don't mind your joshing. I've had some other people come on here that be real crazy with the stuff. So I didn't take any offense to what you were saying at all. Yeah, I thought it made it a little bit lighter of a topic a little bit, you know? So that's fine. But yeah, I'll be interested to hear what they decide is the verdict on whether, it's legal or illegal to follow these ICE agents. So I'm interested in seeing what that is. So Cannon Corey's okay, hold on. Wait a minute. So Purple Butterfly Divine says, don't effing follow me either, evil Karen and Kent. Okay. So Cannon Corey says, has any ICE members been charged with anything, any of these cases so far? I don't believe so. I don't. And that's the point I made last time. Like whenever something happens, the administration, they come out and they say, hey, they're doing their job. These people were impeding what they're supposed to do. They come out in full force supporting what the ICE agents have done. And that's why I was telling people last week, like, look, like, we got to figure out other ways to get our voices heard so that we can continue to be on this side of the earth, of the ground, if you will, to try to make change. So I agree with you 100% on your point. We have Purple Butterfly Divine saying, yes, he is a poop disturber. Okay. And then we have Keith Duck saying, thanks, and you're ever more than welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So I have another one here from a press conference with this lady that who I believe is an American citizen, but she is Somalian. So let's play that real fast.
We were both crying together. We were holding each other tight. And I'll never forget, like, the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day. They were following these two men, and I was waiting for these two men to hold the door for me. And I told them, hey, can you hold the door for me? And I walked right in the middle. And when I was in the middle, ICE came. They came out of their cars. They asked me to see my ID. And while they were asking me to see the ID, they just decided it was nice to be racist and say really nasty things to me. And that man, he called me the N-word, and he called me that, and then he arrested me. They arrested me. It was multiple people. They used a lot of force to arrest me. I actually got a scab that was healing while I was in jail. But they pushed me hard. They used a lot of violence. My body still hurts. I got a concussion. It's really hard for me to speak because of that concussion. They were just using a lot of force to arrest me, and I was screaming. I was crying. I was so scared. I've never been arrested in my life. I don't have a criminal record. I have a clean record. It was just, and then that detainment, I was detained. I was literal cuffs were put on my legs, cuffs on my hands, and I was actually detained with a Native American woman. And God bless her heart, she went through a lot too. She was also detained by ICE, and she was also a U.S. citizen, and like me, and she had gashes on her face. They shattered her windows. She had blood on her jeans, her corduroy jeans, and she was crying because she was so scared because she was with her dog, she was so scared that her dog got hurt. She was so scared for her life. We were both crying together. We were holding each other tight. And I'll never forget, the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day. And, I'm so sorry if I'm getting a little emotional. Take some time. It's okay. You've done it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me see what y'all saying in the chat here. 1 second, y'all. Okay, so Mr. Candyman 7921, welcome to the live stream. You said something was debunked. Can you let me know what that was so I can be up to speed on it? Okay. Yeah. So we have here. Okay, we have Bobby Lewis 9587. Welcome to the live stream. It's illegal to follow a cop, so you just answered the question. I honestly didn't know that. I've never considered following a cop. So I didn't know. So at Candyman, welcome to the live stream, Candyman. OMG, Muslim lie. Candy Corey says it's not illegal to follow a cop. Okay. I have no idea. I don't try to follow nobody because I don't want no speeding tickets, okay? Yeah. So we got Terry Farnsworth. Welcome to the live stream, Terry Farnsworth. Says banana rice. Candyman said, okay, it was already debunked. He's gonna let me know hopefully what was debunked. Terry Farnsworth says BS. Bobby Lewis 9587 says no need to change the law that works. Just follow them. Okay. We got Dirty Money here. Welcome, Dirty Money, to the live stream. Glad you're here. We have Michael Graham who says, who cares? I think he's talking about the lady that was on the screen. I'm thinking. I could be wrong. We got Dirty Money saying no one has a criminal record until they do. Absolutely facts. So then we got Terry Farnsworth saying stop supporting this BS. Okay, Terry, what's the BS? Help me understand. Then we got the Saxa Riverstone. Welcome to the live stream. Rice and bananas. Okay. We have Bert M. Caster here. Welcome to the live stream. They say low T better. Okay. So we got Joseph here. Welcome to the live stream. Corey says the chat is mad, laugh out loud. Yeah, it was really something when we talked about this last Sunday, Corey. Yes. So we got David Higby. Welcome to the live stream. You have a criminal record now. Need some bananas and rice to calm down. Who got a criminal record now? Okay, then we got Dirty Money saying, oh no, not the Crockett tears. Oh yeah, because she did start crying, right? And yeah, I saw that. So then we got Jonah Beck saying, welcome to the live stream. Laugh out loud. Isn't this the girl that just got arrested for hoax, hate crimes, old bananas and rice? I don't know. Someone else just said that this was debunked. So maybe that's what he was referring to. We got Dirty Money saying Jesse Smollett cried just like that. Corey said, that's why I stay out of politics. Understood. But yes, y'all. So we have that right there. Let me get something else here. What else we got here? Okay. So the next thing I have is that there were some updated information provided regarding Alex Pretti. Apparently, he had been in a interaction with the ICE folks like 11 days prior to his unaliving. So we have a little bit of that. Let's get into it.
New footage has emerged of Alex Pretti, filmed 11 days before he was fatally shot by Border Patrol officers in Minneapolis on January 24th. In the footage, filmed on January 13th, Pretti is seen here, shouting expletives and spitting at a federal immigration agent's car during a protest. He then kicks the agent's vehicle, breaking a tail light. The agents exit their vehicle and a scuffle takes place.
My goodness.
Pretti, on the ground, loses his coat. When he gets back up, what appears to be a handgun is visible in his waistband. At no point do the videos show Pretti reaching for the gun, and it is unclear whether the federal agents saw it. Agents then deploy smoke canisters and drive away. In another video, a bystander can be seen checking if Pretti is okay.
You okay? You okay? I'm okay. Are we all okay?
The new videos immediately rekindled the national debate about Pretti's death. An attorney representing Pretti's parents said the altercation on January 13th in no way justified the officers fatally shooting Pretti on the 24th. Homeland Security Investigations is reviewing the new videos and the incident. It's not known if any of the officers involved in the altercation on the 13th were also there when Pretti was killed.
I was wondering about that. If any of those officers might have been there when he was unalive. You know what I'm saying? If he was like recognized like at that next, but they just said that they don't know if he was there or not. Like, wow, I mean, he kicked the rear light out. Wow, okay. Um, my goodness. I tell you what, though, I can't be an ICE agent because all that honking and whistle blowing, honey, I would have anxiety out of this roof dealing with something like dealing in that kind of environment. My goodness. Yeah, it's interesting how additional details are kind of coming out now, surrounding him and his interactions with the ICE agents. And I see they made the point of showing that he had the pistol on him at that previous interaction, but did not reach for it. I guess to make the connection, like, okay, well, when he was unalive, yeah, he wasn't going to reach for it. Well, let me put it this way, because I'm not speaking in fact. I think they're trying to make the connection that, okay, he had the pistol at the first altercation and then at the second one, but at the first he did not reach for it, he did not use it, right? So I think they're trying to debunk the fact that they were saying, oh, well, he had a pistol on him, and that's why we did what we did, and that it was visible, on the first go round. So I think they're trying to make that connection to try to say that, okay, him having a pistol on him did not warrant, the unaliving. I'm not saying that it did. I'm just speaking, from an outside look as to how they're trying to maybe frame some things. You know what I'm saying? So let me keep this going. We have Why Us 793. Welcome to the live stream. Why Us says his own parents have said he's deranged as of late. I had not heard that. I had not. I know I saw that the parents had said that they told him to be careful with all his protesting, but I did not know that they had made that kind of a statement about the son. Didn't know that. So Purple Butterfly Divine says, well, follow the cops and good luck and good riddance. Okay. We got With the Business here. Welcome to the live stream. Apparently, people don't know they're unattractive. Okay. Then we have Why Us saying should have been arrested immediately. Because I take it that they must have let him go, huh? I think someone said that he may have had like some injuries from this, but he never got treated for them. If I recall hearing that correctly. But yeah, I don't think he got arrested at all with that first interaction of him, kicking in the rear view mirror, the tail light, and spitting. I don't think he did anything other than rough him up. Is all I think that took place. Dirty Money says he was definitely looking for it. Keith Duck said it's looking pretty bad. Corey said it seemed like he wanted to smoke. Then we got Dirty Money saying, so I've read where he was fired from the VA for inappropriate behavior towards veterans. I hadn't heard that because I kept hearing them say, oh, he was a ICU nurse, whatever kind of nurse he was, and he was working at the VA. But they made it seem as if he was still working at the VA. You know what I'm saying? So interesting. Did not know that he had been let go. So then we got Joseph saying Ice A. We have Ghana 7787 says, welcome to the live stream, Ghana. Where's his social media content? I do not know his social media. I don't know. That's a good question. Then we got Brian Ball saying iced. Then we have Matthew V and Eventer. Welcome to the live stream. I would hate myself too, telling the public that we're protecting them from PDF files. I like how you put that. While following the orders of a now known PDF file. Got you. Then Corey says, yeah, but what about the lady that was unalived in her car? Is that news already old now? She didn't have a weapon. No, it's not old, but there's been like 3 instances. You have the lady that was unalive, Miss Good, I think her name is. We talked about her on this past Sunday. Then you had the person that was hit in the leg. They survived. And then you also have this gentleman that just got alive the other day, Mr. Pretti. So yeah, it just continues on. It's like a continuation. Like I said, I don't think that the administration, they're not going to pull back ICE at this time, in my opinion, and this is going to continue to happen. Is what I'm thinking. So yeah, this is gonna continue happening. We're gonna hear more, and that's why the gentleman, the Batman, was saying that if they allow the ICE people to come to Santa Clara, where the Super Bowl is gonna be at, there's gonna be a lot more activity going on too. That's what I think he was getting at. So we got Brian Ball saying dead as a graveyard. Joseph said that Petty and Good were unalived intentionally. Jonas says the car was a weapon, Corey. Welcome to the live stream, Jonah. I don't think I greeted you. Brian says, haha. Joseph said the parents did not say that. Okay. Because I hadn't seen anything along those lines. I know they got lawyered up. I do know that. Brian Ball is laughing some more. Cheryl says, welcome to the live stream, Cheryl. The agents effed up. They should be getting help from local police. I agree, but it seems like, and I could be wrong. You guys, like I said last week, y'all here to educate me. Sounds like some of the local police offices are either, you know, not being allowed to help the ICE or something to that effect. But yeah, I think they're supposed to help like with crowd control and things like that. It's a lot going on out there because I'm sure those ICE agents, aren't trained to deal with the onslaught of people doing all that out there. It's a lot of people out there throwing ice balls and everything at these dudes. Yeah, it's a lot. They do need some help from local police. It would be good if they could work together. But like I saw where, you know, they have said in Minnesota, they're not trying to work, with them. And then they did want to have some insight and help with the investigation of those unalivings, and they were told no. Yeah. And if you just saw the video with Batman that I just showed, he was like telling the people at the council to not work with ICE. So you have people that are intentionally not letting their local organizations assist the ICE officers. It's kind of crazy. Let me know what y'all think about that. So we got Brian Ball saying ice, ice, baby. We got William McGill. Welcome to the live stream. He's definitely got a pass. I like to see his social media content as well. I would think I've never even thought to look to see if he had a social media account. And I wouldn't be surprised if it hadn't been taken down by now. Because usually, if he had one and it had like a lot of things, that could be considered detrimental to what he's doing, it would have been already plastered all over social media right about now. You know what I'm saying? It would have already had that on there. So we got Brian Ball saying, follow the law. If the Democrats had followed the federal law, none of this would be happening. Okay. Joseph says, what the F does social media have to do with unaliving intentionally? I think they're saying that they want to kind of see, like, I guess what he does. What he, they want to get a sense of him as a person, is what I'm thinking. With the social media, like, like, was he a person like who was always like going out creating challenges? I'm thinking like that kind of thing is what people are interested in seeing, who he was as a person in a sense. That is my guess on that one, Joseph. So we got Donna saying it's the media's job to cover the news, not cover it up. I agree. And we're gonna get to that. Because we're going to talk about Don Lemon in a minute, y'all. Okay? So we got Brian Ball saying it's all the camel's toes fault. The camel's toe. I ain't up on the terminology. So Jonah said that I did thank him. Okay. It's so many of y'all. Yeah, but I want everybody to know that you are welcome here, and I'm glad that you chose to tune into the live stream. Feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay. So then we got Krista saying, Chris Aetha saying, there are laws in this country, follow them. Yeah, welcome to the live stream. I agree. Dirty Money said, at Joseph, ever heard of a paper trail? Okay. We got Terry Addie Poe here. Welcome to the live stream. We got Cheryl saying, exactly, well said. We got Moriola 177 saying, where are the cows? So I got my cowgirl hat on. It's a fashion statement. Yes. Yes, honey. The cows are back in Texas. Yes. Welcome to the live stream. Moriola. Yes. We got Purple Butterfly Divine. I don't know why I am tongue-tied with your name. I promise you I know how to talk. Purple Butterfly Divine. Why are they trying to kill the law? What law are they trying to kill? Let me know about that. What law are they trying to kill? We got Dirty Money saying parents never said he was a whack job. They did, however, know he was walking on thin ice, no pun intended, and told him don't be stupid out there. So yeah, I did hear something to that effect. I did. Okay, y'all. So while y'all are getting back with me on what law they're trying to get rid of, I have a video of this lady that was actually filming, and they were like, she was literally like right there in her vehicle when they unalived him. And so very interesting to me. So we have Joseph saying it's a bigger version of Trader Reagan's poop. Okay. A bigger version. Okay. All right. So let's get into this video, and feel free to comment in the chat, and I'll be stopping the video so we can interact. Let's get into it.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, what? What?
Whoa!
Kayla Schultz is speaking for the first time on camera since the killing she witnessed. I talked to her earlier. First, we want to warn you, some of the conversation has graphic language and images.
What made you decide to start documenting what's happening?
Well, it's because that's all we can really do at this point. What has happened in my city is absolutely devastating to me.
Right.
I have witnessed and I've seen videos of my neighbors being kidnapped, and I know that all we can really do at this point is make some noise, make our voices heard, and film them so that they don't go missing without a trace, so that we can at least record their names and try to get contact information for their family or friends so that they know what has happened to them.
Saturday morning, how did you come to be there?
I received a notification. I was already out and about, and I went there with my whistle and my phone so that I could do what little I can in order to try to protect my neighbors.
Your video is really important because it's not only a different angle on things we have seen, but you also capture things that we haven't seen in other videos. What did you see before the video?
Before the video even starts,
have y'all seen
several
this?
Federal agents crossed the street to come over to my window to tell me that I was obstructing, and they would pull me out of my car and arrest me for that. I told them I wasn't obstructing anything. We exchanged some not so nice words back and forth. The last thing that federal agent who came up to my window said, and he screamed it at the top of his lungs right in my face, was that I'm a fucking
Have you ever had a law enforcement officer say anything like that?
No, absolutely not. No one's ever actually called me that word at all.
Were you scared?
I was scared, but I absolutely refuse to show them that I'm scared. I think, and we saw this in the video, that they feed off of that. They want us to be afraid, and they want us to be intimidated.
They feed off it.
Yes.
That's, in your personal experience, that's what you have seen?
Yes. I think that is one of their goals. They escalate in every single way if they are not able to use that fear in order to intimidate us into backing down.
So if you're not intimidated, they escalate?
And that's exactly what happened to Alex. He did not let them intimidate him. In fact, he stood up for two women that they were absolutely brutalizing, and that made them mad that they were not able to intimidate him into tucking his tail and leaving.
Your video shows the two women who are talking with some officers in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
They are right next to you. Those two women are also visible in Stella Carlson's video, shot from the sidewalk not far from where Kayla Schultz's car is located. On your video, there's a man in a gray tan hat, an officer who pushes one of the women.
I don't know exactly whose words were whose at that point, but he, in my opinion, is the one that instigated this. He just seemed angry. He seemed like he wanted vengeance for I don't know what. He wanted to be the big scary guy, and he just had absolutely no control over his emotions. I saw him shoving them very violently. It was not out of self-protection, in my opinion. It was purely out of rage.
You believe that pushing was kind of the genesis of everything else that then followed?
Yeah, exactly. He was being so incredibly violent.
You briefly capture Stella Carlson, the lady in the pink jacket.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see her documenting this from another, and when you compare the videos, it really gives a much more kind of rounded view of what is going on. On your video, we see the Border Patrol agent who will end up shooting Alex Pretti. We see him spraying a chemical agent on a woman, or attempting to spray a small bottle of pepper spray or something into a woman's face.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to have some issue with his bottle, and he checks it. He sort of turns away and checks it for a moment. Your video actually captures the gun. Did you know that? Yeah. I hadn't realized that when I first started looking at it. It's very grainy.
One moment, there are people being pushed around, there are people being maced right in front of me. That was upsetting enough. All of a sudden, I see so many federal agents, way more than was necessary in order to take him down to the ground. The next thing I know, it's gunshots. It's so many gunshots. I couldn't believe it.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh!
I didn't immediately register that they were gunshots, in fact. My brain, I think, didn't want to believe it. I was hoping, praying that it was anything else but guns. I ended up looking away from my camera at that point and making out that they were holding real guns and they had just shot him.
After the shots, what do you remember?
After the shots, I saw pretty much all of them back away immediately. I was just absolutely in shock. I really have barely a recollection of the moments immediately after, other than just the feeling of absolute horror and also rage that it escalated like this.
You fucking murderer!
So they backed up, and I was sure he was dead. And then a couple of them did approach his body.
Could you see over the hood of your car, Alex, on the ground?
No, and I'm glad for that.
I know that's right.
I saw the scuffle, I saw him being taken to the ground, and I saw the guns as they were firing, but at least I didn't have to watch him die.
You continued to roll. Your camera stayed on. You hear the officer who took the gun. He comes back and at a certain point says, "I got the gun." You can hear that on your recording.
I got the gun! I got the gun!
Why did you want to talk? Come forward.
I think it's important. I went back and forth for a while about this. I expect there's to be some sort of fallout from this at some point. I expect that there will be probably ramifications to my employment, to my career, and to my safety. I expect that some people are going to try to label me as a domestic terrorist for trying to stand up for my community in what little ways that I can with my voice and with my phone recording. But it's important. This needs to be out there, and I need people to know what is going on here. I am scared of speaking out and having this public, having my face out there and my name. But if I can muster up 1% of the courage that Alex had shown there in order to maybe make some amount of change, I will. They want us, again, to be afraid of them. They want us to be scared, intimidated into silence. And we cannot. I can lose my safety. I can lose security. They can take everything away from me, but they can't take my voice.
You're scared, but you're still standing up.
Yes. I think it's so important. Now is not the time to stay silent in this for anyone at all. It's imperative. Things are going to get a lot worse, I think, not only in my city, but around this country as this project expands. And we all need to be courageous. We all need to be a little bit brave. And again, do what we can in order to stand up for our rights. I would ask that anyone who might feel compelled about any of this go to standwithminnesota.com and donate what they can in order to help us out.
Has anyone from the federal government reached out to get your witness statement?
No, not at all. I did, as soon as I could after this happened, that same day, I went to the BCA office and...
The state investigators.
Yeah, exactly. And I gave them a statement. I provided them the video that I have, but I have not been reached out to by federal investigators.
They're not gonna reach out to her. Y'all, let me see what y'all had in this chat. Let me get my screen back right. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's a lot. Imagine you being in your car and you seeing all that right in front of you. Oh my God. That's a lot. I think we all can agree to that. That's a lot to witness, right? And she did have some different angles than what we've seen from others that have presented video. So we got Jonah here saying, so Pretti had a SIG P320. They are faulty. They pow pow if you shake them hard enough. When the officer disarmed him and went to leave, you can see the P320 had an uncommanded discharge. Jonah, I'm gonna tell you now, I don't know anything about pistols, so okay. Jonah says that caused the officers to think he shot. Oh, because that type of weapon has an uncommanded discharge. Okay. Okay. Dirty Money says you get a like and I don't hand them out freely. Thank you, Dirty Money. I appreciate that. Yes, thank you. We got TTU 8K. Welcome to the live stream. His parents said he hasn't been to work in months and been acting weird lately. I had not heard that, but someone had just said earlier that he may have been let go from his employment. So, okay, there might be something to that. Joseph says more BS. Dirty Money says at TTU 8K exactly. Then we got Spirit 859. Welcome to the live stream. They're asking, is he the unalive dude? Yes, that's the person. Jonah says, I haven't seen this interview, but I saw all the angles. Joseph said, ICE has no authority. Johnny Elson, Johnny Nielsen says, I call BS. Welcome to the live stream, Johnny. Dean Weir, 8458, welcome to the live stream, says, if you resist arrest, expect the worst. That's facts right there. They're not gonna just let you go when you resist arrest. It don't work out that way. I agree with you on that. Dirty Money says, at Joseph, go try one if you believe that. Okay. Then we got Joseph saying, unaliving is unaliving. Yeah. Maggie B, 7164, welcome to the live stream, says Ashley Babbitt never got as far as this survivor did. Who is Ashley Babbitt? Who is that? Then we got Spirit saying, why were they interfering? Yeah. We have D Chill, welcome to the live stream. Alex was shown on a video spitting on officers and kicking out a light. He was on a violent watch list. Okay, we had just watched the video of him kicking out the light, but I did not know about that watch list that you just mentioned. I didn't know anything about that. So Jonas says ICE is federal law enforcement. They do have authority. You might not like it, but that doesn't make it untrue. Okay. Then we got option 1666. Welcome to the live stream. Says Alex should have called the police, not interfere. Okay. Jonas said this is just speculation and opinion. Understood. So we got Stone Seeker here. Welcome to the live stream. Blame Democrats leaders for not deploying police to mediate. Okay. Then we got Rusty the Shackleford. Well, let me go back because I had just mentioned maybe 10 minutes ago, like how some of the local areas are not trying to work with the ICE people, and then some are not being allowed to work with them. Like when they are investigating the unaliving. So, yeah. So I see exactly what you're saying here. So Rusty the Shackleford, welcome to the live stream, says, so authority gets a blank check for murder. I would hope not. I would hope not. So Stone Seeker says would have never happened if the state police were doing their job. Rusty says y'all will blame everyone but the trigger puller. Jonah Beck says a chemical agent, quote unquote, laugh out loud sensationalism. Dirty Money says folks worried about the disease and not what created it. Gotcha. Stanley Pelkak, 1806, welcome to the live stream, says he got what he deserved and he was an anarchist, and I bet she was one also. I'm assuming she is the lady that was unalived, Renee Good. I'm assuming you are referring to her when you say she. Then we have Atheronzala 5719. Welcome to the live stream. Saying good riddance. Rusty. I'm gonna say Rusty because I'm not tongue tied. Okay, I guess such a non-psychotic response. Jonas says, don't stoop to leftist levels. Remember how they acted with Charlie. Don't be like them. Dirty Money says CNN guest led a very sheltered life. Okay, Dirty Money says CNN guest has led a very sheltered life. Rusty said they acted with Charlie. Jonah says yes, and he says they. Rusty says, are you aware people are individuals? I am personally aware, yes. We got all things Key Nicole here. She was stopping by out here in the Houston streets. If she's still here, here's my vocal, hey girl. But I did acknowledge you in the chat in case you had to leave quick. Then we have Rusty saying, and not a hive mind. Jonah says, yes, do you realize that multiple people is referred to as they? Yes, that is true. We have Nathan Aguirre, welcome to the live stream, saying even Pretty's own parents thought he was a danger who fell in with the wrong crowd. Wow, okay. So we got Lou, you know it, telling all things Key Nicole what's up. We got Joseph saying that's more BS propaganda. Dirty Money says Greg is back on the border. Who is Greg? Then we got Nathan saying left my AO, Even Petty's own parents thought he was a weirdo scumbag. Oh my goodness, not a weirdo scumbag. So Rusty says, kind of funny that folks get to clutch pearls about their guy when they pass away, but oh boy, we got to make jokes on their side. Smiley, smile, it helps. Welcome to the live stream. Says you won't see where we are shooting from. Then we have Alex Knowles. Welcome to the live stream. RIP Alex. Texas LBFB says, I mean, isn't murder murder and wrong is wrong? Yeah. We have Rookie X Reviews. Welcome to the live stream. Real life superhero. Nathan says Pretty's own parents thought he was a weirdo scumbag. Wow, I hadn't seen that. Rusty says it's so easy to go, wow, that's so sad, this loss of life. It is easy to do that. That's why I think people really need to be mindful of what they're doing, because you see there are people out here that could care less about preserving life. I will say it that way. So we got Smile saying rooftops and windows will be your new enemy. Jonas says Texas, yes and no. That's a complicated question. Ricky says, and she pretty AF, so I'm side with her regardless. Ricky, what you talking about? We got Nathan saying, watch the interview with Pretty's parents. I did not know there was an interview with his parents. I'm going to have to go find that. Then we got Ron Dickinson. Welcome to the live stream saying, setting up for something you did not give a crap about before. Then we got Cornell Davis saying, but they told black people to comply. Then we got Smile says, going to earn that paycheck every day. Dirty Money says, Smile helps. That's exactly what the furry lover said. Ricky says, nothing wrong with standing up is standing up. Okay. Rebecca says, stay home, don't act like idiots, problem solved. Jonah says, yeah, everyone should comply, then deal with it in court with lawsuits, etc. At least that way you're still here on this side of the ground, Then we have Texas LBFB saying, that's the problem, Jonah. We have selective morality and it all depends where the story leads, aka right versus left. Smile It Help says, not going to live in fear. Nathan says, watch the interview with Patty's parents. Even they were calling him a weirdo scumbag. Okay, I'm going to find that interview and watch it. I'm going to do that. I am. Rookie says, can't execute people for bothering you. Nathan says, rest in peace, Bozo Pretty. Nathan. We got Jonah saying, not exactly Texas. I think you're being lazy with all that. Nathan says, watch the interview with Pretty's parents. Even they were calling him. I will definitely watch the video. Yes. I'm kind of behind. You guys have done a lot of commenting here. So, yes, I'm trying to catch up with you guys. We have Dirty Money saying that Smiling Help sounds like a coward. Oh, my goodness. Y'all, let's be respectful and nice in the chat, y'all. Let's be respectful, okay? Because I want y'all to have a good time up in here. So, we have Adam is not a troll saying yeehaw. Yes, yeehaw, Adam. Welcome to the live stream. Nathan says Ice was justified 1,000%. Rookie says, or even if he had impeded, which he didn't, don't justify execution. Smile says, think what you want. Joseph said, not the effing propaganda lies. We got Adams, not a troll, saying yeehaw. Nathan says, maybe don't obstruct law enforcement with a live firearm. Rest in peace. Rusty says, and if they're a widow, you're just as bad. Okay. It's a lot we got here, y'all. Oh Lord, it's a lot that y'all having here. Y'all, I can't catch up with all this. I can't do it. Y'all, I cannot catch up with all of what y'all put in here. I will be reading to the night. So look, y'all. I'm gonna just I'm gonna just pick some of the comments because I don't want y'all to feel like I'm not acknowledging, but it's a lot of comments here. I cannot read them all. I did not know that it was that many. I did not. Um, okay, let me pick something. We got Rusty saying, sorry, did I trigger you with wrong speak? Um, we got Benjamin Ross here. Welcome to the live stream. He's saying, Joseph, get out from behind the computer. We got Nathan saying, bro folded the minute I asked about his C drive. What's up? What y'all talking about with the C drive? Oh my goodness. So we got Chamber House, welcome to the live stream, saying absolutely true. His own parents said he was mentally disturbed. So y'all must in the same interview. I gotta get caught up with y'all. Then we got Nathan say enjoy the report. We got Rag Top Man. Welcome to the live stream, Rag Man. He's saying happy Black History Month. Thank you. We got Gangster from China. Welcome to the live stream. We support Trump for King of USA. Okay. We got Smile. It helps says defend him. Let's hear it. Then we got in Christ Jesus. In Chris Jesus. Welcome to the live stream. Saying nice hat from Canada. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. We got Delois Turner. Welcome to the live stream. Saying Black Americans get dual citizenship from Africa would be support from both sides. Dirty Money says, are you a self-proclaimed unaliver? Asking that to Smiley Helps. And then we got Smiley Helps saying we shouldn't have ICE aiming guns at us. Whew, y'all got a lot going on in this chat, and I ain't even get to read it all. Okay, y'all. I ain't get to read it all. So I want to keep things going. Okay. So we've talked about Pretti. Okay, now I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about Mr. Don Lemon. Okay. So I know you guys are having y'all conversations in the chat. So I'm gonna let y'all keep doing that. And I am going to switch gears a little bit to Don Lemon because it all, in my opinion, is kind of intertwined. Okay. So let us get into this Don Lemon video right here. Let me get this guy.
I want pictures. I want video of the perp walk. Did y'all hear that Donnie Limon got arrested? He got taken into custody. Yes, that's right. Donnie Sweet Britches Limon got taken into custody. Listen, if you mess around and poke the bear, you gonna get bit. What do y'all think about that? Homeboy is now in custody and having to figure out with his lawyers how to get himself out of the mess that he got in. See, this is the result of you liberals and you progressives thinking that you can do and say whatever you want to do and say, and everybody else has to just take it. Well, not in Donald Trump's America. Sorry, Donnie Limon, you are now a criminal. Donnie Sweet Britches Limon. Yep, that's right. So we'll see what happens. But I want my perp walk. I want pictures. I searched for pictures and it's not there. We'll see what happens.
Now that man know he's something else. He said he want his perp walk. He want to see them, take Don Lemon into custody, honey. He wants to see that. He wants to see that. You hear me? Lord, let me just say this. Yeah, I will say I do agree with some what he said because, like I've been saying for the last, couple of live streams on this particular topic, you got to be strategic with what you're doing out here. Okay, I think I told y'all last Sunday that I figured that the administration is going to continue to push until they got this man arrested, and they did that the other day. Now, I know people are saying, from what I've seen online, like, oh, well, that's his First Amendment right, all of that. But at the end of the day, it's like this. You know, if somebody is coming for you, now whether those charges stand or not stand, guess what? You're going to be paying money to your lawyers trying to defend yourself. So guess what? Even if they don't stand, you done came out this money. They didn't hit you in the wallet. You see what I'm saying? Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Okay, so I think y'all are having y'all all dialogue, which is great. I support that. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Okay, so we got Smiley help saying, I bet you think I'm a Democrat. Then we got Tony Fernandez. Welcome to the live stream. He said, squeeze that lemon. Oh my goodness. We got Drip D8. Welcome to the live stream. Smiling. We got Smiley Help saying, you're wrong. I don't support either party. They are both corrupt. Then we got Dirty Money saying, Smiley Helps. I didn't think that, but I have labeled you as Antifa. Oh my goodness. We got Drip D8 saying, it wouldn't be a bad look. Rusty saying, holy. Smiley Help saying, label me what you want. I don't care. Joseph saying, WTF, fool. There is no Antifa. We got Rusty saying, please go outside and talk to people. Dirty Money saying, apparently you do, or you would be in here crying. We got Smiley Help saying, the opinion of a person who supports child trafficking means nothing to me. Then Rusty says, oh no, I said things you disagree with. We got CJ in the house. Welcome CJ to the live stream. Talk about my cat smacked me in the face for no reason. I'm so sorry to hear that, CJ, about you and your cat. So we got Smiley Help says, I support our veterans. That guy that was unalived was a vet. Rusty says, that's my crime, I guess. All right, y'all. So we have just seen that. I want to show you guys what Chris Cuomo had to say about this whole situation with Don Lemon. Let's get into that.
Don Lemon arrested on federal charges. Not words I wanted to say. Not words I'm surprised to be saying. They went the cheap route fast, signing their own complaint and trying to get a judge who said no. They appealed. They said no. They then went to a grand jury. They got probable cause. Yeah, you can indict a ham sandwich. There's a legal analysis here, there's a journalism analysis here, and there's a personal analysis. Look, I do not want to have to be defending what Don was doing or how he did it. But, first of all, what the president put out, the White House put out, when life gives you lemons, you just made a lot of lemonade for Don Lemon. You made him a martyr. You increased his following. You made him the face of resistance to you. And you made him a lot of money. Know that. Now, you can think that's good or bad, but that is part of the net effect. Legally, I don't see how they make the case unless you prosecute Don Lemon as a protester or a rioter or as a participant. And he says that he was there doing reporting and therefore he was not a participant. Now they're going to argue that. Charging him with the Ku Klux Klan Act, I mean, irony of ironies. A black gay man in the media, you're charging under the Ku Klux Klan Act, looking for 40 years. Legally, did that protest, or whatever you want to call it, go too far? Yeah, I think you can say that. Is this charge going to stand? I don't think so. Now, is there more to be said? Yes, and I will. But let's start there.
Okay, y'all. So we heard from Chris Cuomo on that. And one thing he brought up that I thought was interesting is that this whole situation of him being arrested has brought Don Lemon, some more exposure, right? So yeah, he probably could make, get a bigger following, get a bigger bag, if you will. That's gonna probably help take care of them lawyer fees he's gonna have fighting all this, right? Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat, because the chat is chatting, okay? We have Rusty saying, "Oh no, I said things you disagree with." Okay, hold on. Let me get back right. So Rusty said, "That's my crime, I guess. I guess saying things that folks don't agree with." So Dirty Money said, "Smiley helps. He was no veteran." Okay. Joseph said, "And again, more BS." Okay. Smile It Helps says, "I got no problem with immigration deporting people. That's their job." Chase Hatchet, welcome to the live stream, says, "Y'all, I open carry in Texas. They gonna shoot my behind just for walking down the street. I hope you don't get shot for that." Okay. We got we got Terry Kisser. Welcome to the live stream. Saying Weasel. Rusty is saying the issue is the Fourth Amendment rights and over escalation causing deaths. Terry Kisser said, "No, you're so stupid." I think you're talking about Cuomo, right? Then we got Chase Hatchet saying, "Yo, that is effing wild." We got Smiley Help saying, "Yes, Rusty, we never had immigration officers unaliving us before. Where is the due process and restraint?" Dirty Money said, "Hit the like." Yes, Dirty Money. Yes, y'all. Please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. Thank you for the support. Okay. Yes, please hit the like button. Yes. And we got Them Are Dumb. Welcome to the live stream. That says, "I see what's the score of the homeowner. Nobody gives a effing dominus. Black or gay, you careless. He's insignificant, he's irrelevant, but he broke the law and he was stupid enough to put it on tape." So I believe that Them Are Dumb is speaking about Don Lemon, is what I'm thinking. I think that's what he's talking about. So then we got Rusty saying he recorded people protesting. Okay. So in this next video, it's going to show a little bit of what went on. Let me show you the next video. Because I got videos that kind of show what happened at the church. Because I did see where he was like inside the church and interviewing people, things like that. So let's get into it. Okay.
The arrest of former CNN anchor Don Lemon. He is facing federal civil rights charges covering a protest at a church in Minnesota. He was arrested in L.A. and was released this afternoon. NBC4's Macy Jenkins joins us now live in our newsroom with the very latest on the case and also some remarks from Lemon himself tonight. Macy.
Well, Kathy, we are hearing from journalist Don Lemon after appearing in a federal courtroom this afternoon. He was arrested last night and is accused of conspiracy against the right of religious freedom over his news coverage of an anti-ICE protest in a Minnesota church. But the former CNN anchor says he was exercising his First Amendment right as a member of the free press and will not back down.
This shows you just how divided America is.
This is the moment in a Minnesota church at the center of federal civil rights charges against former CNN anchor turned independent journalist Don Lemon.
Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news.
Lemon walked out of a federal court in downtown L.A. Friday after a magistrate judge ordered him released on bond. A newly unsealed criminal indictment accuses him of conspiracy against the right of religious freedom and violating a federal law that prohibits people from interfering with the right to attend religious services. Lemon's attorney calls the move an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment.
I will not be silenced.
The indictment alleges Lemon was not just an observer at the January 8th church service in St. Paul, but an active participant who tried to intimidate and oppress the pastor. In Lemon's live stream inside, you can see him interviewing parishioners and a pastor who asks him to leave.
We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave.
Lemon identified himself as a journalist multiple times.
I'm just chronicling. I'm not with the group. I'm a journalist. They're activists.
Lemon has been critical of the Trump administration, most recently over ICE operations in Minneapolis. Attorney General Pam Bondi speaking out in a video on Friday.
Make no mistake, under President Trump's leadership and this administration, you have the right to worship freely and safely. And if I haven't been clear already, if you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
LA Mayor Karen Bass, one of many voices condemning Lemon's arrest.
He should not have been in court anyway. How far is this going to go? We have to draw the line in the sand and say we will not allow for the dismantling of our democracy.
Lemon's attorney says Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. Tonight on his YouTube show, Lemon told viewers he looks forward to his day in court. Prosecutors unsuccessfully tried to bring charges against Lemon a week ago and were overruled by 2 different judges. Now, their request for the LA judge to keep Lemon locked up today was denied. 3 others, including a news producer, were also charged in the indictment. Lemon has been ordered to appear in court in Minnesota on February 6th. Reporting live in the newsroom tonight, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
Wow. So y'all, I saw y'all in the chat here. I'm trying to keep up and watch this too, but yes, Rusty, he was reporting not only at the scene, he was inside the church, uh, interviewing the people and saying he's not an activist, he's a reporter. He was like all up in there. And I want to say there was a video where they show him saying that it was a privately planned event or some to that effect. So I think they're going to use a lot of what he has put out there. So I think with that statement alone, they're going to try to say, oh, well, he helped organize. So I think that might be an angle they're going to use too, but I'm not sure. But the lady who was speaking was saying, well, how far are we going to go? They're going to go all the way. All the way. They're going to go all the way until the end. As you saw, they could not get several judges to agree to arrest Lemon, and I think they went to a grand jury. So somebody in the chat, if you know differently, let me know, right? So it's like they're going to go all the way. There's no limit to what they're going to do to, get after these people that were at this protest in this church. Because in my opinion, it seems like, okay, he does have his amendment to freedom of speech and the press, right? But then the people that are attending church have a right to be able to attend worship and things of that nature. So I'm interested to kind of see how they're going to play this thing out. Like, is it going to be that his right to report the news is going to trump those people attending church? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really sure, but I'm interested in seeing. I'm not really a person who keeps up with the news, but I'm going to keep up with all this, right? Let me get to the comments here. Y'all got a lot going on in these comments right now. And I don't want to get too far behind. So we have dinner dumb. I went too far because they bothered those people. So what about the way? We said we're going to talk about it. What about the white people that were worshiping and had their civil rights violated? Hashtag Don guilty. That's kind of what I was stating. Like, you have like the freedom of him to report and then the freedom of the people to worship. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how all that plays out in the court of law. We're going to see. We got Chase Hatchett. I think I told you welcome, but if I didn't, welcome to the live stream. Using a law that was meant to prevent KKK members from harassing Black folk to arrest a Black gay dude is wild. That's what Cuomo was saying. Yeah. We got Smiley Help saying, but we shouldn't be getting unalived over that. Yeah. Dirty Money gave a thumbs up. Joseph says covering a protest only. Terry Fosworth says stirring poop. Dirty Money says Don and Georgia Ford guilty as charged. They already addressed Rusty's comment about reporting on the scene. The ACE's demand, welcome to the live stream, says no bond. And I believe you're right. I think he was released on no bond. Yes. Which I didn't think you can be released without a bond, but I don't really deal with people going to jail, so I'm not the most knowledgeable, okay? So we got Smiley Helm saying he's a media figure. I don't care if he reported on some news. I'm not even sure I believe what he's saying, but he has the right to say it. Okay. Ace Demand says we his people must guard the church. Chase says them are dumb, bro. Learn to learn to proofread. That was seriously poor sentence structure and full of grammatical and spelling errors. Dirty Money says, I've watched long enough to know you're level headed. You got another subscriber. Oh, thank you, Dirty Money. I appreciate that. Yes. Yeah, I want us to be able to, you know, chat, have conversation, all of that. I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm here to just have conversations. And if you know something I don't know, I'm more than willing to listen and learn and be educated. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the vibe I like to have. So I do like unfiltered conversations, usually on Thursdays, where we just kind of just chit chat, kick back, talk, look at videos, and whatever the vibe is for the chat, that's how we run the show. That's kind of what I do. But thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. So we got Spirit 859 saying he was also asked to leave but chose to stay. Yeah, I want to say the gentleman that was the pastor had asked him to leave when he said that he was trying to protect his family and whoever else. So yeah. So Ace Demand says Satan thinks he is winning when we know God is our protector. I heard that. Terry says stirring poop, we know he was. Joseph says means nothing because pastor doesn't own poop fool. Ace of Demand says vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Smile and help says doubt it. Dirty Money says doesn't have the right to film individuals in a private dwelling. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I did listen to something earlier today saying that the church grounds is considered private to the church organization that that it belongs to. So I did see that earlier today, which makes sense to me. I don't think any church is considered, well, I'll take it back because you may have like cathedrals like out here in DC that maybe or maybe not. I'm not sure, but I've always assumed that church ground belonged to somebody and wasn't just public. You know what I'm saying? What we got here? Smile at Help says, that which you do to the least of my children, you do unto me. Joseph says reporting is legal no matter where you do it. Smile at Help says at Joe, exactly the right to free speech. Christine Deepa, welcome to the live stream, Christine. Glad you're here. White, black, blue, red is not the issue. Monogamous or not is the issue. Lie about monogamous perfect life is really the issue. Okay. Terry says reporting is different than what he was doing. So Smile says he definitely put his opinion in his reporting. That's true, but he can do that. Dirty Money says, Joseph, as usual, you're wrong. Do y'all know each other, Joseph and Dirty Money? Have y'all met before? Smile at Help says, if we only have the right to free speech when the government doesn't mind. Okay. Do we only have the right to free speech when the government doesn't mind? That's the question. Dirty Money says you cannot enter a private dwelling filming. I suggest you check the laws and stop thinking of BS. Joseph says church is open to the public. Dirty Money says it's still private. Now I have to agree with Dirty Money because I did hear earlier today that the church grounds is considered private to those that to the religious organization and to those who attend the church. I did read that earlier today. Smiley Help says, well, then charge him with trespassing. Smiley Help says, that's a misdemeanor. Johnny Chinga says, hello, beautiful sister. Hi, Johnny. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you're here. We got Dirty Money saying, a civil rights violation is not a misdemeanor. Terry said it's beyond law, it's common decency, and he doesn't have it. Smile says trespassing is a misdemeanor. Okay. So I got caught up for the moment, but I know I'm gonna get behind again, okay? Which is fine. Y'all continue to do your thing in the chat. So I want you guys to hear this other video regarding this judge's perspective on what's going on with Don Lemon. Let's get into it. Also, y'all, if you're here with me, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free. Help a sister out. All right, on to the next video.
The question is, Professor, are these charges something? I believe the FACE Act violation, again, indicted by a grand jury, are they something that carry real jeopardy here for Don Lemon?
Well, first of all, the FACE Act itself does pose jeopardy for all those arrested. The Attorney General of Minnesota, Ellison, said that this only applies to abortion clinics. That was completely false. It does apply to places of worship like this. And in fact, when they have applied it to abortion clinics, including Ellison, they have adopted the broadest possible interpretation of those criminal provisions. Now, with regard to Don Lemon, I think that he has a claim here that he was acting as a journalist. And I think a lot of judges are going to find that persuasive because they tend to avoid really hitting that tripwire when it comes to journalism. Now, the problem, of course, is that Don Lemon really stretches that meaning of a journalist. He's one of these journalists that believe in advocacy journalism, which blurs, again, the line of what is a journalist and what is an advocate. So that's going to end up having to be litigated. Some of us have written for years, I just wrote a book on this not long ago, really contesting advocacy journalism as killing journalism in the United States. He is really the face of that movement.
Yeah, and you bring up sort of the career path of Don Lemon, but there's also the actions that day and whether or not those were the actions of someone simply chronicling the event or someone serving as a hype man for the event, and whether or not carrying a camera or a phone, for that matter, into a protest or riot or disruption absolves you of the actions of that moment.
Yeah, that actually has been an issue that's come up repeatedly now, particularly Antifa, but a lot of far-left groups have been defining some of their members as journalists or observers, even though they're very much participants. For example, Good, who was the first of those two shootings, insisted that she was a legal observer. I've represented legal observers in protest cases, and she was not acting as a legal observer. She was a participant. And you have the same things happening with some people who don vests saying press when they really are part of these groups. So courts have had to work through this by looking at their conduct, not how they define themselves, but what did they do? Now, that doesn't mean that Don Lemon cannot make the case as a journalist. Courts are going to take that very seriously, but we're going to have to look very closely at the basis for his arrest, why there was a finding of probable cause, and what was the conduct that was being cited in that proceeding.
Okay.
All right, Professor Jonathan Turley, thanks for breaking that down for us today.
Okay. So y'all heard that. They mentioned Antifa in this video, but I was trying to look at the comments here and that. So yes. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat, honey. Ooh, there's a lot going on in this chat. Okay, trespassing is a misdemeanor from Smiley Helps. Let's not get into the common decency thing both sides are guilty of. Joseph says, I have interviewed people and wasn't charged. Dirty Money says, except he wasn't charged, but trespassing was he? I don't believe he was. Joseph said, how do we even know there was a grand jury? I personally don't know. I just heard it was reported there was a grand jury that found it, that decided to go ahead and arrest this man. But I don't know. I haven't seen anything with my own eyes to say, yeah, they did do that. Smiley Help says, no, but that's the law he broke if he was on private property without permission. Let me see something here. Let's see. Okay, y'all. Um, uh-oh, my thing kept jumping around. I'm sorry, y'all. So, no, but that's the law he broke if he was on private property without permission. Smiley helps. What he says isn't a crime in the U.S. This isn't North Korea. Dirty Money says Joseph walk into a private dwelling, start filming when it's not wanted, and watch what happens. We have Sweet Havoc here. Welcome to the live stream. Saying on January 29, 26, a woman was arrested and charged for silent praying outside an AB clinic. I had not heard about that. My goodness. For silent praying? I had not heard about that, Sweet Havoc. Thank you for, bringing that up in the chat here. We got Drip D8. Welcome to the live stream. I feel like we had another Drip that was here, but let me make sure you're welcomed here. Lemon was acting as a podcaster. Then we got Hunters. Welcome to the live stream. Saying, I'm about Lemon being juiced in prison. Woo. We got City 0017. Welcome to the live stream. Saying Lemon is cooked. He documented his own crimes. Smiley Help says, and what's the big deal? People film in church all the time. Joseph says no criminal activity occurred. Dirty Money says, Smiley Helps, he disrupted a place of worship, not a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party. Smiley Helps said, I saw someone filming at a funeral last week. No one cares. Joseph says, no disruption. No one gives a poop unless you're mafioso. Fat Man Porsche, welcome to the live stream, says Dumb Don should stay in jail. So Fat Man, you probably know that he got released out of jail. I'm going to show that video next. He got released. No bond. Yeah. Dirty Money says that Joseph 18 USC section 248. I suggest you read it. Joseph says, I don't need to read your BS propaganda. Smiley Help says, but I will support his right to report on things because that's one of the good things about our country. Dirty Money says that Sweet Havoc, exactly. Fat Man Porsche says he's washed up, trying to get back in the spotlight. Dumb dumb. Joseph says this was a public event, dumbass. Smiley Help says he doesn't give facts, he gives his opinion. We got AJT777. Welcome to the live stream. He says, how are you doing today? I'm doing good today. I'm getting, caught up with everybody regarding what's going on in Minneapolis and with Don Lemon and all of that. So having a good time, enjoying all the camaraderie here, all the respectful camaraderie here. So we having a good time right now. Fat Man says, don't mess with God. Lavonda says, hey, y'all, hey. Hey, Lavonda girl, how you doing? Yes, welcome to the live stream per usual. Yes. We got Fat Man Poor saying, thank you. Lavonda says, how is everyone doing? Lavonda, we got a lot of heated conversations going on regarding Don Lemon and whatnot, and filming in the churches, things like that. So it's a lot going on up in here, but we having a good time and we enjoying ourselves. So yes. Dirty Money says Joseph, stay stick smart. Dirty Money, what is stick smart? So Joseph says, I have gone to many a service and filmed people for cultural documentaries. So let me ask y'all this. When Don Lemon went to that service and filmed, did he have like a full-fledged like camera crew? Like, what was the setup? Like, was it just him and a phone like what I be doing, walking around? Or did he have like people there like following him and doing all of that? Like, I don't know. Y'all help me out with that. And honest, like I told y'all last week, I am not a political reporter. I'm just here getting caught up on the news, hanging out, okay? So when I ask questions, I'm asking them from a place of wanting to know, okay? And I want everybody to feel heard, but y'all, it's so many comments in this chat, I can't read them all. So if I skip your comment, I apologize. We're going to keep this thing going, okay? So we got Fat Man said, keep rocking the girl. Thank you, Fat Man. Snap, snap, snap. So we got Shane Hill, welcome to the live stream, says, did you disrupt the service to film them being scared? Then we got Michael saying, politics suck. Hey, Michael, welcome to the live stream. Then we got, because let me tell you, Michael, last week when I did this, somebody was asking me, like, well, how did I vote and what was my affiliation? I said, I'm a black woman from Alabama. That's what I told them. Okay. You know, none of that got nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. So, not that you said it, I thought about that when I saw your comment about politics. So we got Tamara Escobar saying, exposing the pastor's side job as an ICE agent. Welcome to the live stream, Miss Tamara. Yeah. I wonder how they knew that that man was a pastor at the church too. Yeah. We got Smiley Health saying if you're being disruptive, they have the right to eject you. Joseph is saying, I just walked in and presented credentials, no big deal. Okay. Dirty Money says, think about how smart a stick could be. Okay, Dirty Money. You know, I I got it now. I got it now. Okay. It's so much slang going on. I don't be knowing sometimes, but I see what you're saying with that. We got Charles Bishop here. Welcome to the live stream. Children were intimidated and made fearful. Joseph said nobody was disrupted. Dummy. Okay. Smiley Health says, what difference does him being an immigration officer have anything to do with the law? Why does anyone care? It's just a job. Understood. Joseph says no children weren't. Lying person. Dirty Money says, again, stick smart, Joseph. Okay, y'all, make sure y'all being respectful, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead to the next video. I'm caught up for the moment. And this video is Don Lemon giving his freedom speech is what I'm going to call it. Let's get into that, y'all.
An anchor turned independent journalist Don Lemon appeared in federal court this afternoon to face charges related to a live streaming report he did at a protest during a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota. Here's what he told reporters afterwards.
Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silent. I look forward to my day in court.
Well, along with Don Lemon, 3 other people were arrested, including Minnesota independent journalist Georgia Fort. She went before Judge today. She joins us tonight. We'll have that interview in a moment. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the arrests are connected to a, quote, coordinated attack on City's church nearly 2 weeks ago. But Lemon and Ford say they were doing their jobs as journalists and were not protesters. All 4 arrested are charged with 1 count of conspiracy against right of religious freedom at place of worship and 1 count of injure, intimidate, and interfere with exercise of right of religious freedom at place of worship. In announcing their arrests on social media this morning, Bondi used the words, quote, at my direction, which is not what you typically see from an attorney general.
Right.
The White House has posted this photo with the words, when life gives you lemons, along with a chain emoji.
Let me tell y'all something. When they post that right there, when life gives you lemons, honey, the White House is they with it, okay? They are with it, okay? They are not playing with the people when life gives you lemons. With the little chain thing. Let me keep this going.
President Trump has been critical, obviously, of Don Lemon for years. Lemon himself has not been shy in calling out the president and his administration. A magistrate judge had initially refused to allow federal officials to arrest Lemon and take him into custody, but they took it to a grand jury in Minnesota and got a felony indictment. The indictment, unsealed this afternoon, alleges that Don Lemon and the others charged, quote, oppressed, threatened, and intimidated the church congregants and pastors. Here's some of what Lemon said during that live stream. Take a look.
I'm just here photographing.
Are you okay?
I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist. We don't know. That's what they're saying. So we're here just chronicling and reporting. We're not part of the activists, but we're here just reporting on them.
Don Lemon's attorney released a statement saying in part, quote, "This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court." When agents showed up at Georgia Fort's door yesterday, she started recording. Here's some of her message.
You guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. This is all stemming from the fact that I filmed a protest as a member of the media. We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press. I don't feel like I have my First Amendment right as a member of the press because now federal agents are at my door arresting me for filming the church protest a few weeks ago.
It was a live stream she did on Facebook. Journalist Georgia Fort is out of jail and joins me tonight. Georgia, first of all, how are you doing? And were you surprised that you were arrested? Obviously, previous attempts to arrest you had been blocked by federal courts.
Yeah, you know, I'm hanging in there. It is quite frightening to have 24 agents outside of your home. You know, my children were home with me when I was arrested. And so, yeah, just it's been a long day. And yes, it was extremely shocking.
You had 24 agents show up at your door?
Yes.
I want to read part of what the Justice Department alleged in the indictment and let you respond. They claim, and you and the other defendants, quote, entered the church in a coordinated takeover-style attack and engaged in acts of oppression, intimidation, threats, interference, and physical obstruction, they said, and, quote, as a result of defendants' conduct, the pastor and congregation were forced to terminate the church's worship service. Congregants fled the church building, fear for their safety. Other congregants took steps to implement an emergency plan, and young children were left to wonder, as one child put it, if their parents were going to die. What is your reaction to that?
Anderson, I am a journalist, just like you. I went in my capacity as a journalist. I documented as a journalist. The footage is published. It speaks for itself.
You captured video of your own arrest, federal agents outside your home. Can you just talk about that experience?
As journalists, we never want to be the story, but unfortunately, I did find myself in a predicament where I felt that I needed to be able to tell my own story, that I needed the world to see that journalism is on trial, that we are at a state in our nation where if you are documenting what's happening, you may be criminalized for it. You may be arrested. And so I think what is happening in Minnesota overall should be quite alarming to the entire nation. I think what happened to me today as an independent journalist, what happened to Don Lemon being arrested for reporting what's happening, I think people should be alarmed. And I think mainstream media should also be really concerned because if they can criminalize a journalist here in Minnesota, whether you're independent or not, I think that we've seen a track record where this is just going to continue to escalate.
How do you face something like this? I mean, obviously, the federal government has unlimited resources. What is your next move, both legally and just in terms of the work you do?
You know, I am a mother of 3 daughters. Right now, my focus is on making sure that they can recover from the trauma of what they experienced today and making sure that I can recover. From there, I have an incredible legal team, very reputable among media leaders across the country. And so I am counting on them to do what they do best.
You have no doubt that this is meant to intimidate not just yourself and Don Lemon and the others who were charged, but journalists everywhere.
I would ask you, how does it feel to you to see a journalist arrested for simply reporting the news. I would challenge every journalist in America to ask themselves how it felt to them today to see their colleagues be arrested for reporting the news. And if any of them say that it made them fearful, it made them concerned, it made them second guess going out tomorrow and covering what's happening in their communities, then yeah, I would say that that was probably the intent. It does send a chilling message to our entire industry. I've been in journalism for several years. I've been in media almost 2 decades, okay? 14 regional Emmy nominations across 2 different regions. I've won 3 regional Emmys here in the Midwest, producing my own television show as an independent journalist. And so, you know, being a journalist who's from here, who's from Minnesota, I've been on the ground. This is my community. I'm not flying in and flying out. I'm here. And I'm doing the best that I can to tell the stories of what's really happening. And as an American-born citizen, it's always been my understanding that I have that protection under the Constitution, under the First Amendment, that we have freedom of press. But today, the way that I was treated for simply doing my job, the way that I have been criminalized and dehumanized, it makes me really, really wonder if our Constitution is something of the past and if it's just a thing made up of empty promises at this point, honestly.
Are you intimidated? If that's the objective, which it certainly seems to be?
I will continue to tell the stories of my community.
Georgia Ford, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Yeah, that's a lot, ain't it? Let me get this thing back on here right. So y'all have a lot going on in this chat. I don't know why my thing isn't. Okay, there we go. So you guys can see your comments coming in. Ooh, it's a lot that y'all have here. But I saw how she was like asking him, like, well, what do you think as a journalist? Like anytime he asked her a question, she kind of flipped it back on him. Well, how would you feel? How would you think? And I just don't know. I think someone asked on here, like, how did he know to go to this thing? He was told about it. And he said that on one of his videos that he was told about it. He was going to attend, you know, as part of the press, I guess. And I think that's what they're going to kind of use. Like, okay, well, you knew about this private thing happening. You helped planned it. That's what I think they're going to take that angle with. But let me kind of go to the comments here. So, okay. We have somebody said that, okay, we have Isaac Haynes. Welcome to the live stream, Isaac Haynes. How he know those folks was going to be there? Sandman 62, welcome to the live stream, says because he knew it. Uncle Sanitariums, welcome to the live stream, says I hope he gets federal prison time to be exact, is what he said. Dirty Money says Don just happened to be there and he laughing. So we have W12ATH040211. Welcome to the live stream. I'm not part of the bank robbery. I just knew about it beforehand, went into the bank with them and recorded it. I get your point. Bevis5221, welcome to the live stream, says he knew what was going into the church. He knew what he was doing going into the church. Bad choice. He has to pay. So Smile It Helps says, I agree. It shows no class to storm a religious ceremony. That's disrespectful and they should all be charged. Rod Brock 4759, welcome to the live stream, says he is a devil cat. Devilcrat. So I think that's a spin on Democrat. I think that's what that is. So Beverly says, sorry, won't cut it. Robert Trolls 4840 is in the house. Welcome to the live stream. Then we have W12 saying everybody with the phone is a quote unquote reporter now. Jeffrey Hatt, welcome to the live stream, says she will be in prison soon after the trial. So we got Mrs. Chaz 21, welcome to the live stream, says why is she out of jail? She and Don Lemon were released. Without bond, I know for sure for Don Lemon, I'm not sure what it was for her. Uncle Sanitarium says, well, then maybe you shouldn't be making such poor life choices knowing you have children at home. Gotta think about our kids. Smile at Help says the filming isn't the problem, the storming is. Uncle Sanitarium says no, every bit of it's the problem. Okay. He's saying that the storming and the filming were problems, is what Uncle Sanitarium is saying. We got Andy Scott here. Welcome. I know the church members and children that must have felt the same way. I know the church members and children must have felt the same way. Sandman said, cowards scaring the children. Then we got Paul's LC 4352 in the house. Welcome to the live stream. Saying LGBTQ XYZ WTF lemon. Y'all, something else. Then we got Tamara Escobar still holding it down, saying an ICE agent moonlighting as a pastor. Hilarious. No scriptures align with this in God's word alone. God loves the immigrants. Then we got Uncle Sanitarium saying you're not a journalist, you're a radical. Miss Shaz 21 says you're an activist, lady. Smiley Help says, when did we start thinking it's okay to disrupt the church function for political purposes? Then we got Robert Charles saying, bye-bye, game over. Eddie Rich, 8358, welcome to the live stream, says, now your children know how the children at the church felt when you stormed in there and disrupted the services. Being a journalist and having freedom of speech, etc., does not excuse your behavior. Andy Scott says, so we're supposed to care about you and your children, but you didn't care about them? We got Bevan saying Lemon never was a journalist. We got Paul A saying Black Lives MAGA. We got Sandman saying yes, misfit forever. Welcome to the live stream. Says God has always followed the law of the land. Stop cherry picking the parts you like. Sandman gave a thumbs up. Paul's ass has made Kamala sober again. Oh my goodness. Then we got Michelle saying, so you had to bother people worshiping. Gotcha. Oh, y'all, this is a lot. Okay, let me scroll down some. We got Uncle Sanitarium saying, yeah, there's already released documentation showing that he knew when they was going to be there. He knew when they were meeting up, and he knew when they was going in. Yes. We got Ozzy Crosby. Welcome to the live stream. He says, double tap your screen to get this channel a thumbs up. Yes, Ozzy Crosby. Thank you for helping me out with that. Yes. Yeah, it's free, y'all. Help us out. So we got Smiley Help saying that shows no class. I'm not going to do it. Then we say that, okay, then wait a minute. So Jeffrey Hatt says the comments are double on the screen. Is it? So, okay, let me turn off these on my restream here and let me know if that is better. Okay? Because I didn't know that. So we got much love, MAGA Patriots from Paul's House. We got Smiley Help saying if you don't like the pastor, don't go to his church. Then we got Joseph saying no storming. Bev is saying it was arraignment. They didn't drop any charges. Okay. Then we have Democrats. Oh my goodness. Then we got Easy Neasy. Welcome to the live stream. Saying Don Lemon was serving tea beforehand to all the participants. Then we got Bevan saying Kimmin still got to face the judge. Randall Pike, 888. Welcome to the live stream. Says that is her job. This administration is like Russia. We got Smiley Help saying I just go to another church. Okay. Then we got Derbo. Welcome to the live stream. saying Donnie kept citing his First Amendment right, somehow missed the free exercise of religion portion. Then we got Bevis saying nothing wrong with Russia. Prince Kyriakos, welcome to the live stream, is saying, what is she saying here? Twisting the facts to suit your narratives. Bevis says Dems want sides of the narrative. Oh, want both sides of the narrative. Okay. Dirty Money says at Paul A. Spam with the beer mugs. Smiley Help says to turn us against each other. Paula says, beautiful black sister. Thank you. Then we have Uncle Santander saying, speak text. Jeffrey Hatt said, that's better. Thank you. Then we have Misfit Forever 01. You didn't care because you do no research and they didn't plaster it all over the TV every hour of the day telling you to fight it. Uncle Sanitarium says, make sanitariums great again. Just saying it got a lot of rooms to fill. Bevis says, I have not had a TV in years. Ooh, Lord, that's a lot, y'all. We got a lot going on here. So, have you guys seen They Still There? So you're saying that the comments are still there? Okay. All right. So let me know if that did the trick. Because last week I was told to put the comments on because sometimes when people make certain comments, they will be removed by YouTube. So I was asked to put them on, but whatever works, I'm flexible with that. Okay. So let me know if I solved the issue. Okay. Okay, so Dirty Money says better. Okay, perfect. Thank y'all. Okay, so Jeffrey Hat says only when hit chat they disappeared. Double when no chatting. Miss Chevette 21 says that's better. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it like this, and just let me know. All right. So yeah, like Joseph, I see your comment over here saying that Trump did authorize the cages. That's not showing up on my YouTube, but it does show up on this restream here. So let me ask you guys all this. So have y'all heard about like Nicki Minaj now being more vocal about supporting Trump and everything? She is I guess helping to invest in the Trump account. So I learned about that today when I was kind of trying to see what was going on with her and Trump lately. So yeah, so I'm trying to get up to speed, y'all. Oh, Jeffrey Hat, welcome to the live stream. Says yes, better. You're awesome. Thank you. Yes. Beverly says we still win. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Smiley Help says don't buy either side's BS. See the lies. Yes. So I got some clips for us that show Nicki Minaj coming on stage with President Trump. Um And yeah, like and just to kind of talk a little bit, I want to say when she went on the Erica Carr, they did an event and she brought out Nicki Minaj and they chatted on the stage. And I want to say at that particular time, a lot of backlash came out against her regarding her supporting what was going on with the yeah, I don't forget the name of the people. Erica Carr's Turning Point America. Yeah, that. So yeah, a lot of people said, like someone just put in the chat here that someone, okay, it may have not. I just saw where somebody says that they didn't like it was something going on with Nikki. What did they say here? It may be over here. Nikki turned Nazi scum is what Joseph said. That shows up on the restream, not on the YouTube. But yeah, so they were showing a lot of people felt the same way as Joseph here did, right? So I want to show you guys what she had to say when she came on for this event that Trump had, I guess, fairly recently. So we're gonna get into that. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something real quick. Let me get everything up and running. Okay. Somebody let me know that it was Erica Kirk, not Carr. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Erica Kirk. Nicki Minaj came on to Erica Kirk's Turning Point platform. Yes. So I said the name wrong. It was not intentional, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this video that I just saw today at this recent speaking engagement. And let me just say this. Y'all do know I'm primarily like a fashion channel. And I'm gonna just say this about the outfit. She had on like open toe shoes. And they was in DC, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all, it is cold here. But I guess the television screen don't know the temperature. Y'all gonna see her outfit when I play these videos, okay? So let's get into that, y'all. This first video is President Trump bringing her on stage and giving her the opportunity to speak some. Let's get into it.
You want to come up? You want to come up? Mr. Wonderful, come on up here. You've been terrific. Come on up.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's gonna motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was definitely unplanned.
On behalf of all the entrepreneurs in America, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, because we create 72% of the jobs. Companies 5 to 500 employees, and all we care about is policy. We love policy, pro-business policy, and these accounts are fantastic for independence and support. I thank you very much. It's all about the entrepreneur, and I think you know that, sir. Thank you very much. Well, that was great. A little interlude. I don't know. That's better than getting Scott Bessent up.
Let me stop that real quick, y'all. Let me ask y'all this. So I saw where he mentioned about it's all about the entrepreneur. Is there some type of initiative going on now regarding entrepreneurship? Hold on. I see. Okay, we have Blue. Is that Kevin O'Leary? He called him Mr. Wonderful. So I'm not sure if that is his actual name or not, but he said Mr. Wonderful. But okay, y'all. I'm going to get to the comments, but I wanted to say, like, is there something going on with entrepreneurship being like a hot topic? Because I saw them like mentioning that, and I think Mr. Wonderful is a entrepreneur. Is he with Shark Tank? I'm gonna go on Chat GPT real quick, y'all. I know y'all like this girl ain't been on Chat GPT all day, and here she go. But I'm trying to find out some stuff real time. Let's see, Mr. Wonderful. Who is he? Let's see. What do Chat GPT tell me? Who is Mr. Wonderful? Okay. Oh, Mr. Wonderful is the nickname of Kevin O'Leary. Yes. Well, he's known for a blunt, no-nonsense investor on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. Why the nickname Mr. Wonderful? It's ironic. He's famous for savage honesty, tough critiques, and memorable one-liners, often crushing bad business ideas without sugarcoating. So, okay. Let me see. Why was he with Trump recently? Let's see if they tell me something about that. I'm gonna get to y'all comments, y'all. I just want to kind of see what this is about. Um, okay. They said that he appeared with Trump at a public event promoting a new government policy called Trump Accounts. I heard about that, Trump Accounts. So Trump invited O'Leary onto the stage while highlighting the launch of Trump Accounts, a program aimed at giving every newborn American a seeded savings account backed by the U.S. Treasury. O'Leary was pictured alongside Trump and others, and Trump publicly praised him, noting they spent a lot of time together. Okay. So that's why he was there. All right. So let me see what we got going on in the chat here. Let's see. I'm gonna just start right here. Okay. Paul's Alls says Nicki MAGA them Diddycrats. Then we got Michelle 21 saying Trump accounts, yay Trump. Jeffrey Hatt says 100 Misfit. Dirty Money says TP USA. Smiley Helps is the definition of stupidity is choosing to believe lies. We got Michelle saying I'm not for both sides, I'm for Trump's side. We got Bevis 5521 saying let go of the Democrat Party. We will accept you and cherish you, not use and abuse you. And we got Paul All saying Nicki MAGA, them Diddycrats. Okay, he done said that a couple times. Then he put game over on that one. Smile, it helps us. Do you agree that Trump lies? Then Dirty Money says racist Trump bad. Then we got Bevis saying you have lost your values, Democrats. We got Get Real. Welcome to the live stream, Get Real, saying Trump is so nice and inclusive. Then we got Cole Healy, 8818 says Obama 2028. Yes. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, y'all. We got Prince Kyriacus saying I voted for President Trump 3 times. Dirty Money says I don't play into any Hollywood or artist BS. We got Dermo. Welcome to the live stream, Dermo, saying Minaj talked stuff about Lemon. Now Lemon suggesting she be deported. I think she said recently that she may have recently got her immigration stuff done. Like literally, like I think I saw this yesterday or today, her saying that. Then we got Smiley Help saying the rich get around the law and we are punished for it. Then we got Michelle saying Trump accounts, yay Trump. Okay, let me go back. We got Lauren, you know it saying, is that Ken O'Leary? Yes. Then we got Jeffrey Hatt saying Mr. Wonderful is because he is from Canada but loves America. Okay. Then we got Alaska Yukon. Welcome to the live stream. Saying he's a shark. Got you. We got Beverly said we need entrepreneurs. It's not for everyone though. We need workers too. I agree. Beverly says we need artists too in the bigger picture. Alaskan Yukon says term limits. Uncle Sanitarium says that is definitely Kevin O'Leary. Then we have Uncle Sanitarium saying, and it's only those who are radicalized, who eat their own common conservative-minded people. We just pick on each other. Just pick on each other. Okay, we got Smiley Help saying I will end the Ukraine war on day one. Then we got Joseph saying nobody is eating cats and dogs. Jeffrey Haddis saying they were eating cats but not dogs and sacrificed cats. Lit. Woo! Okay, y'all. We got a lot. Now, I have another video, and then we're gonna close it on out. But this is a kind of an interview between Nicki Minaj and this interviewer at this same event that Trump was having. So I thought it was kind of interesting. And she gives a little bit of background about her humble beginnings and coming here. So let's kind of get into that, y'all. Stick with me.
Well, Nicki, it's an honor to have you here. I know the president was incredibly grateful for your presence. And by the way, how well did she do on stage with the president?
Thank you. I was very scared.
You look pretty good behind the seal, by the way.
Thank you.
I must admit, your competition, which really isn't competition, didn't really look good behind the seal when they were with Kamala Harris.
Oh.
Just saying. So, Nicki, look, everyone knows that you are the undisputed queen of rap, but what many people in this room might not know about you is who was Nicki before the fame? How did you grow up? Where did you grow up? What was the financial situation of your upbringing?
Well, I grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens, New York City, and thank you. And you know, humble beginnings, and I would say that actually I came from a different country at about 5 years old, and always wanted the American dream. I thought that when I came to the United States, I was gonna be like moving into like a castle, and I was gonna be wearing big like poofy dresses and going out to like ballrooms. I don't know why I had that idea, but anyway, so my parents both worked really hard, and I guess you could say they were very motivating people, believed in me, but we really didn't have much. There were times that in between jobs, I definitely remember my mother having to be dependent on the government for help. But it would always be a couple months here and there, like if she lost her job. She never felt comfortable staying on government assistance. So it'd be a couple months here and there, but it always made me think, I don't ever want to have that burden when I get older. Even as a kid, I felt like this isn't how things are supposed to be, but I don't know how I knew that. And I remember one day asking her, how much did you make? And the look on her face when she told me the amount, like when she showed me her check, I could literally remember how it looked to this day. And even as a kid, I could tell she was disappointed in her check. So it always instilled something in me to be a go-getter and to like make my family proud by way of achieving my goals. So I would set really outlandish goals, kind of, and just hope for the best.
And that worked out pretty well for you.
I'd say so.
And I think it's safe to say that your family is more than proud of you.
Yes.
And we're also very grateful that your family shared you with the rest of us, because you have so many millions of fans all across the globe. So thank you for sharing that. And we're here today obviously to talk about this Trump accounts program. Mm-hmm. And I read in the New York Post this morning, which is real news for the most part. There's some fake news out there, right? And they might be in the room. But New York Post is real news, and they wrote today that you are partnering kind of with the Trump accounts program to get hundreds of thousands of dollars to some of your supporters who end up having children. Why is this program something that you want to partner with and get involved?
Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
President Trump is already keeping his promise.
Well, when you guys first did a live about it, it caught my attention right away. It seemed like something I had never heard of anyone doing before. And I could just tell that this is something that I wish I would have had access to as a kid and as a teenager growing up, because people don't talk about how when you graduate high school, if you don't have if you're not going to college right away, how scary it could feel. If you're not having your college paid for, how scary that could feel. So, and tuition is a lot of money, and cost of living is a lot of money, and loans and all that stuff. And a lot of people forget that that's very difficult for young people, and especially young people who are ambitious. They want to hurry up and leave home. They want to go and, be in the real world. And then they get to the real world and realize, oh, it's not that easy. This is, we're going to have to pay some bills around here. And that's what happened with me. Like, I got out of high school and I thought everything was just going to be smooth sailing. But I realized quickly, no, I have to work. I have to figure things out on my own if I wanted to live a certain way. And that's what I did. But if I had access to something like this, my whole life would have been different. So now I'm thinking about all those kids that are bright and just don't have, they're not born with a bank account, they're not born with wealthy relatives or parents, but they have so much to offer this world. And now they get to have some sort of hope. And I'm big on hope for children and for young people. They get to have hope knowing that they can be in the same playing field by the time they're 18 or in their young 20s. They can have something going for themselves at that age, which is going to contribute immensely, in my opinion, to their mental state as well. Because when you have to worry about paying bills, it doesn't only affect your bills, it affects your mentality, your mind frame. And we need our young people to have less stress. They're very stressed out, you guys. So that's what I love.
Well, I think that was spot on, and we are so grateful for your partnership, and I hope we can see many of your Barbs make beautiful babies.
Yes, Barbs, go out there and make some babies, Barbs. We need some baby Barbs out there.
Look, a lot of politicians talk about helping Americans, but a lot of the policies have failed. We were talking backstage about, why hasn't another president thought of this, right? Why do you think President Trump is so, effective and creative when it comes to, these types of policies and being able to implement them?
Well, it's because he really wants change. He doesn't want to just talk about it. He's a businessman, which, in that world, people judge you by, are you successful at, at the things that you said you were going to do. So versus the average politician, they're just a politician who may want to be a celebrity. They don't care if their policies work 2 months from now, 2 minutes from now. They don't care if they inspire the next generation. They just care about getting in office. This is a different human being. This is a different president. This is a different kind of leader. This is a businessman and an authentic human being. So when he says that he wants to contribute something long-term, way after he's in office, that's what he means. And you get to see all of these other people that are, that have a lot of money and that have a lot of influence. They're drawn to that. It's like a magnet, because everyone wants to make a change. Well, the good people want to make a change for the better. So,
probably not Gavin Newsom.
Oh, no, he doesn't want to make a change. Absolutely not. Newsom only wants to be seen. He does not want to do anything credible with his time or life.
It's true.
I knew that would get them clapping. No.
And while he's on topic, what did you make of our great Treasury Secretary's comments about Newsom in Davos?
So spot on. That's one of my new heroes, I told you. Now, because of the way he so calmly and confidently obliterated Newsom.
He is he's very effective, especially when it comes to destroying the left when it comes to arguments. And so let's get off of Newsom because he's kind of boring topic, right?
Very.
Snapper makes it so cheap and easy, I'm gonna get a photographer for everything. I can finally update that LinkedIn photo that's been holding my career back.
So, last question here is, all of the president's great achievements, from tax cuts to securing our border to bringing factories back home. I personally believe the Trump accounts will have the longest term effect, because 20 years from now, 18 years from now, kids are going to, be able to inherit this money, get this money, and they're going to have $50, $100, $200,000, $300,000 in their bank accounts. And I read today that if they're 28 years old and the money continues to grow, it could be up to $1.1 million by the time they turn 28 years old. And so, do you agree that this is going to have lasting impact?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It changes a huge part of the country. It changes the trajectory of so many lives. And now these children will be able to loosen up a bit, enjoy, being young, enjoy, time being in high school and in college, knowing that they can have fun again while becoming a businessman or a businesswoman. Like, to me, there's nothing greater, well, almost nothing greater, than teaching financial literacy to young people. I think it's so important. I think it should be in the curriculum in schools, actually, because it's a life-changing thing. They don't teach it, and it's what children need. It's what everyone needs. And these children, some of them, will be able to teach even their parents about investing, right? And I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Nicki, I think everybody here is so grateful for your appearance. I know the president is. And we have a very special place we need to go visit now, so we have to cut this a little bit short. But this was such a fun discussion with you, yes. And we are so grateful for you using your platform for good, advancing, highlighting the great victories of this administration, and also, I think most importantly, speaking out in defense of Christians who are being persecuted. You're incredibly courageous, and we're grateful for you.
I appreciate you guys, and thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. And thank you to our amazing president and his amazing administration. May God continue to bless them in all that they do.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, y'all, so we got to see that. Let me get my screen back how I want it. So she kind of gave a little bit of insight into her upbringing, how her mom didn't make a lot of money and things like that, So that was kind of intriguing as to why, I guess she's supporting this, and how she thought that maybe being provided a little bit of a seed money when she became 18 and wasn't sure about college, how that might have been would have been helpful to her, I guess. That was interesting, I wasn't familiar with the Trump accounts until I looked at this, and I do believe that in general that it would be nice if kids had a little bit of a nest egg when they got ready to leave the nest. I wouldn't necessarily give them a lot of money at 18, but maybe like once they graduate college, if I wasn't had kids, I would have done something like that for my children, but I don't have kids. So maybe for the nephews and the nieces, I might put some money aside so that when they graduate college, they can have a few little dollars to help them get like a new house or things like that. We'll see what I end up doing. But let's go ahead on and look at some of these comments, y'all. Thank you, Lou, saying like, share, comment, and subscribe. Yes, y'all, support the channel. It's free. Help a sister out. Okay. So I got a lot of comments. So I'm gonna try to go through them. If I don't say your comment, Please don't be offended. It is a lot of comments here. And I tried to read every one, but I got a lot of comments today. Let's see. We got Bevis 5221. Now I thought Bevis was gone to buy a vacuum, but still hanging out, supporting. I appreciate that. I believe the life I have lived, nobody is going to trick me. I did my homework. We got Red Team Go saying news on another Democratic scammer, and they just love him. It's crazy. Welcome to the live stream, Red Team Go. You may be watching an earlier part of the live stream. That's why I put in the comment that Nicki Minaj is a Democrat, but you may be behind us in the videography. So that's why I made that comment. So we got Smile. It helps saying that question mark. Beba says God is a conservative son. Smile is saying, where is the line for you? Then we got Roger and Sel. Welcome to the live stream, Roger and Sel. Cough, bullcrap, cough. Lord. We got Red Team Go saying she's not, confirming that she's not a Democrat. Then we have Miss Shad saying that Nikki is a good person. We got Smiley Help saying, what would he say that you wouldn't just agree with? Bevy says she's all right. Diesel 38, Ara, welcome to the live stream, says she did a 180 on her fan base. Yeah, I had mentioned that because when she first came out on the Erica Kirk Turning Point platform, I heard a lot of chatter then. I understand she might have made some comments back during the pandemic, but I'm not necessarily an avid like Nicki Minaj fan. I don't dislike her, but I'm not like a Barb, if that makes sense. I do like her music. I'm just not like a diehard type of fan, if that makes sense. So I don't necessarily follow every little thing that happens with her. So we got Chandler 1CC. Welcome to the live stream. Says Nikki is not a citizen, so it don't matter if she's a Democrat or Republican, right? Right? Then we got Bevis saying she ain't perfect, but none of us are. Then we got Smile and him says, I'm just curious, or is it okay just because he said it is? So we got Chandler saying she's a far stretch from the excuse she's not perfect. So we have Red Team Go saying she's the only female singer who's openly supporting Trump. Smiley Help says no answer. So if Trump said child trafficking should be legal, you all would agree. Then we got Get Real Q5N. Welcome to the live stream. Says, what a classy young lady. Then we got Bevis saying, we are all different. Who cares who is perfect? We are good enough to think for ourselves. Then we got Diesel saying her hubby and Trump should get along well. Chandler said she just started supporting Trump last week. Let's see. Diesel saying, God bless America. Smiley saying, no answer. Bevis saying, if Trump said that, Dems would go with it. Then we got Mario Cecito. Welcome to the live stream, Mario. Only people who have knowledge of our Constitution supports President Trump. Smiley Help says, think about that. Red Team Gold says, next up for the federal subpoena, Mamdami. Lord, Mamdami. Okay. We got Chandler saying, there goes Trump giving out more hope. Bevan says, hope is still free, believe. We got Tony Fernandez. Welcome to the live stream. Saying Ilhan 2028, let's make America Muslim. Zaran Mandamni 2028, let's make America Muslim. He also said we need all women in hijabs. We got Joseph saying Racisto Tony Fernandez. Oh my, y'all must know each other. We got Druby 416. Welcome to the live stream saying she got a gold card. She's American now. We got Smiley Help saying sad that you have lost your humanity for someone who is just another human. We got Red Team Gold laughing and crying. We have Joseph saying, wow, you admit you one of those ass boils. Chandler says that gold card is not real. Do your research. Tony Fernandez said, Muslim for president. We need to be like them because they're so great. We got Paul's all saying, Paul said Diddycrats. Juby says, okay, the gold card has made over $1 billion already. Do your research. Smiley Help says, Diddy is a monster. Joseph said, AOC is my V pick when I run in 2028. Your VP, okay. Uncle Sanitarium says to Smile that helps. That's your problem. You live your life on feelings. You are lost and radicalized, yet don't even realize it because your own idiocracy. Stop being a soy boy. Tony says, funny how you use your logic against them and they act like I'm the problem. LMFAO. Smiley Help says, no, I like my life on principle. I live my life on principles. Like child trafficking is evil. That's a fact, not a feeling. All right, y'all. So I have somewhat caught up on the comments. I really enjoyed hanging out with y'all today. Yeah, so I see we have a lot of interest in what's going on with these current events. So I'm gonna probably do this again. So if you have not done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the live and everything. Help a sister out, I'm an upcoming YouTuber, okay? But anyway, y'all, I have another live stream coming up on Thursday at 7:15 Eastern Standard Time in the PM that evening. And yes, I have different topics to talk about. But I think for like the Minneapolis stuff, I'm going to make sure I put that in the title so you know what I'm talking about, okay? My Thursdays are usually kind of like a lot of random craziness, but it's still a good time. But anyway, I have been on here for 2 hours and 36 minutes and 5 seconds, y'all. Straight. So I'm going to log off. You all have a blessed Sunday, and I will see you on my next video or live stream. Take care, y'all. Out.